In this video, we're going to take a look at the Duplicate Surface Curves command.
It's a very handy command when you're needing to generate a curve that follows along with a NURBS surface contour.
That's right. Now let me go ahead and create a NURBS surface. We'll create a sphere in this case. And the Duplicate Surface Curves command is located up under the Edit Curves menu. First thing, very easy to find.
That's right.
Now let's open up the options box for it. And without adjusting any of the options, in fact, just to be sure, we'll go ahead and reset the tool.
Well, yeah, let's just watch this. Let's just go ahead and hit the duplicate button right now.
Boom.
Wow, something just happened. Now let's do this. Let's go and look inside the hypergraph real quick. Now we would expect to find one thing, the sphere, but instead you'll notice that we have a lot of selected nodes right now. Yep, each of these nodes represent a duplicated curve.
That's right, and where did it get these curves?
Grab your scale tool.
All right.
Scale. Ooh. And these are all, you'll notice as Zach goes through and selects, these are all different curves, as seen here.
And what Maya has done, it has grabbed the visible isoparms on our object and has turned those into separated NURBS curves.
That's right, and it has duplicated both in the U and the V direction for the surface. Now, if we go ahead and delete all of these curves out here.
I'll just undo a few times.
Sounds good. Now let's go ahead and go back into the options box. Now let's take a look. Down on the visible surface isoparms section, you'll notice U, V, and both, and both was currently checked.
So if we set this to U,
let's give it a shot.
We'll just hit apply this time. You'll notice now we only get the isoparms that were in the U direction. So we can undo that. I can set V, and of course we only get the ones that are in the V direction. So that's all making sense.
As Zach was saying a second ago, this is based off the isoparms that are visible.
So if you go into, say, wireframe mode and then hit the 3 keys so that you have a higher resolution surface mesh.
Just so that you can see these, that's right.
You see all the isoparms that are there. Now if we go ahead and hit both and then apply, check this out. When I scale up, I'll hit 5 to shade the viewport up again. We now have a lot more curves because we could see a lot more isoparms.
That's right.
So it's going off the isoparms, of course, that are visible in the viewport, just so that's very clear.
Now this is working at the object level. If we would like, we can go in and work at a component level.
Sure.
Be more specific, isoparms, and we can go in here and grab an isoparm. And of course, we don't have to grab one right on the isoparm. We can also click and drag the marker as seen here. We can grab multiples.
Holding down Shift, I can grab as many as I want. And then when I'm finished, maybe I'll grab just a couple in this direction just for the heck of it. And with those both selected, we'll go ahead and hit apply, and boom.
Look at that.
I get exactly the isoparms that I had selected.
Now, let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and actually go ahead.
Back to object mode?
I was going to say go back to where those are duplicated.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Oh,
well,
wait. No,
maybe not.
I kind of can't. That's
Let's go ahead and duplicate some more real quick.
So
just a couple.
So something
That's
like
good.
that.
Yep, let's go and apply.
All right.
Now, take a look at this. There is construction history in place, of course. You'll notice that as Zach selects our sphere, you can see that those isoparms, or excuse me, the new NURBS curves that have been created highlight purple, indicating the construction history.
That's right.
So Zach can, of course, go in there and select those curves and move them around freely. But then, so go ahead and move one around. Okay, now grab your sphere, move your sphere around.
And
because of construction history, he is moving along. Of course, there is the offset that's in place because Zach moved the curve independently.
If I were to come in and delete my history...
now they're curves that stand on their own.
The curves have nothing to do with the sphere at this point.
Completely on their own.
If you wanted to be able to delete history and yet still have the curves follow along, you have the option to group the curves with the original when they are created. Now, don't let the name fool you, because you see group with original, and if you've been using Maya for a while, you might immediately think...
Oh, it's going to make a group node,
right.
Parent to the group node, then take the group node, and perhaps parent that to the sphere.
No, this should actually be called parent to original.
Yeah, agreed. So let's just grab one isoparm.
So we'll right-click. I'll just grab the hemisphere.
Sounds good.
And right here, we'll go... let's see. Duplicate. Totally forgot where I was for a minute.
Is it apply or is it duplicate?
And we'll go under hypergraph and
frame it up and take a look at that.
So now you can see the duplicated curve is parented to the NURBS sphere.
It's that simple. So now if we were to go in there and move this around, of course, it's going to travel with us.
Let's delete our history first.
Okay, I was going to say it'll work both ways.
Yeah, so we nuke history and
still continues to work.
Still it comes right along.
Yep.
We can grab the curve by itself, and now because it's parented, it comes along in a parent-child-like fashion.
That's right. That's really all there is to this command, but it is a very powerful command because, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you need to generate a NURBS curve that flows along the contour of an existing surface, bam, this is the way to do it. This also works with polygons, doesn't it, Zach?
Absolutely. If I were to just kill all this stuff out, grab, say, a polygon sphere, And let's get just a little fancy for a second. We'll grab one edge, and then under Edit Polygons, we'll jump real quickly down to Selection and select Contiguous Edges, like so. So now I have all of the selectives. I have all of the edges selected around the equator of the sphere. Let's go back under Edit Curves, and I'll just run it. I won't worry about any options. Duplicate Surface Curves. Now check this out. If I move these new curves up, you'll notice something immediately. I have a lot of individual curves.
Yes, you do.
And what each of these are...
all 1 degree linears.
That's right. Single, one span, 1 degree linear curves.
That's it.
And then later on, if I wanted to, I could attach these, maybe rebuild them to something cubic to kind of turn them into a circle. But right now, here's what I have. And I could treat them all individually or maybe group them all together.
So if you had a more complex, let's say a modeled out character's head that was in polys, and you wanted to, for whatever reason, generate some curves that you could then turn into a surface that you could use for some sort of special effects, particles flowing over the face or something, here is a way that you could build up the network of curves needed to follow the contour of that geometry that would allow you to create the surface.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much it. Of course, this duplicate surface curves also works with curve on surfaces. If you were to take an object, make it live, and then draw a curve, and then grab that curve and duplicate it, works there as well. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this command. Thanks a lot.